There we go. So we're now being recorded. This is the March 27th of 2019 information session about Albany Law School's Cybersecurity and Data Privacy program. So this program has been around for a couple years, and that's what we'll be discussing tonight. I'll talk about all the details about the program itself, the application process, and answer questions that I received in when you all registered for this. Some people had specific questions. And if at any time today you have any questions about anything to do with the program, just feel free to chat it on in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. The next start date for the program is May 28th, so a little over 2 months away. And the application deadline for that one is May 6th. The next start after that is July 8th, with the application deadline of June 17th. So those are the next couple ones. We basically have a new start date every 2 months. So I'll talk a little bit more about this, but our program is designed for flexibility. So flexibility both when getting into the program and starting, as far as how many start dates we have, but also flexibility for once you're in the program itself. And we were ranked #1 for flexibility in the country very recently. So definitely let me know if you have any questions about that. But basically, every couple months, year-round, we're bringing in a new incoming class for the program. It's a very popular program right now for us. As I said, May 28th is the next start day, with May 6th being the application deadline. And so that's regardless if you're interested in the certificate program, the LM, or the master's. Okay, so people ask, why should I choose Albany Law School? So why would Albany Law School be a good choice for me? So if you ever wander onto campus as a student or before or after, this is a picture of the building. It's a beautiful building. The school was founded in 1851, so it's been around here for a long time. We were recently ranked as one of the top 20 most innovative law schools, and I'll talk about ways in which this program is innovative through its format and delivery, but also through its curriculum. We have an alumni network of 10,000 people located all around the world. As I mentioned before, we are ranked #1 for flexibility in our online programs, such as this one. The online programs were also ranked #11 nationally. And we have many notable alums who, in all sorts of fields. So we don't just have alums who are attorneys. We have presidents, such as President McKinley in the past. We have Supreme Court Justice Jackson. We have business notable alums such as Dick Parsons. The governor of New York is an alum of the program. People also like to know who is in the program. So, usually this answer surprises people. A lot of times someone will say, oh, I graduated a long time ago. I don't know if I'm going to fit in. But in reality, look at this. These are the metrics as far as our incoming class for January 2019 into our online programs. So we had an age range of 42 to 59. 100% were employed in senior level or director level positions. They were located from all around the world in the United States, including New York, California, Colorado, and all throughout the Northeast. Had one from Thailand, and we currently have students from 5 different countries. So you can see it's a very nationally and also internationally attended program in our online program. And naturally, being online, it gives us that kind of advantage where we can not just get students from around the world, which brings an interesting perspective to the classroom, but also our professors who are located all over the country, where we can go and get them wherever they're located to bring their expertise to us. What does a typical what does a typical week look like for a student in our program? So a couple people asked about, hey, I'm a working professional and I'm not sure if I can fit this in. Can you tell me about that? And that it's a great question, and it's usually one of the first questions that we get from our students, because our program targets working professionals. That is who we built this entire program for. And so a typical week will look like having readings that are assigned for you to read each week. There's recorded lectures that our professors recently would have recorded for you to view at any point during the week. We have discussion forums that you'll be able to engage in. The discussion forums we build in such a way that it enables you to engage not just with the professor who's commenting and engaging in discussion forums, but also with each other. And so it's a really good way to get to know each other is through our discussion forums on a weekly basis in each of your classes. Then finally, there are assignments that are due, which will look a little different for each class. So some people do maybe an assignment every other week. Some will do maybe one every few weeks, maybe just 2 in a term. It varies a little bit, but what it won't be, we don't have timed exams. So there's never like, sit at your computer between this time and answer the questions. It's everything is take home basically. So there's a due date, of course, for each assignment, but you can do it on your time by the due date whenever it works for you. So if you want to, work ahead, if you just want to read everything, do the lectures a little bit in advance, you're going to be gone a few days in a week. You knock it out early, get that assignment submitted early, and then you're good to go. So it's designed for flexibility so that you can work it into your schedule when it works for you. What are the graduation requirements for our program? So our certificate program is a 9-credit program. So you could take three credit classes. And in the certificate program, our 501 cybersecurity policy class is the only required one. Then you'd be able to take 2 additional ones of your choice inside our cybersecurity program, totaling 9 credits. For our LM program, which is 24 credits, the thesis is the only required class for that program. The thesis is a class that you would take in your last term as your capstone to the program that you would basically write on a topic of your choosing within cybersecurity and data privacy, or you can do a project that's equivalent within your job or a place that you get work at or something like that. So those are your options. That's your option, but thesis is required for LM. And then for the master's program, 30 credits. The first 3 credits in the program will be Introduction to Law and Legal Methods. That's actually taught by myself. And then your last class will be that thesis class. And so for the master's program, these are your 2 required classes. So in the whether you're LM, whether you're master's, or whether you're whether you're certificate, we don't have required classes for you to take besides these ones on the screen within the rest of your curriculum. So we can work with you to find the best classes that match what's best for you to fill out the rest of your credits. How our program works is we offer each 7 weeks, we offer 1 3-credit class and 1 1-credit class. So most of our students just do the 3 credit and the 1 credit and then just work on through. And if you do that, you can graduate. If you're LM, you can graduate in a year. If your master's just a little bit over a year and be done. Some people choose to slow it down a little bit, maybe only do the 3 credit, maybe take a term off here or there. Perfectly good, perfectly acceptable. There's no one right way. That's part of the flexibility that we have in our program for you to tailor make the schedule that's best fit for you. So what is the benefit of receiving one of these degrees or the certificate? So for the master's or the LM or even the certificate, well, in general, what our graduates have said is that you can learn management fundamentals and build frameworks for problem solving. You can have an opportunity to interact with and learn from classmates from diverse industries and functional areas. You can have a class schedule designed for immediate application learning. And you can hear that we're right next to the hospital, right across the street, Albany Medical Center, and sometimes you get that ambulance in the background. But for these programs, you can also have a class schedule designed for immediate application of your learning. You can strengthen and deepen your management and leadership skills, and you can build a broader international perspective. The online programs are built for flexibility and convenient to fit your schedule. I kind of talked about how the curriculum is structured as far as when you could take your classes or whatnot. A popular question that's asked also is, can I start in the certificate and then do the master's or the LM? And the answer to that is yes. So if you take the certificate program first, some people want to do this, oh, can I try the certificate, try that out, and then if I like it, go on. That's totally fine. There is, just of note, there's the two things about that is, one, if you're planning on get federal financial aid to pay for the program, only degree programs can qualify for federal financial aid. So you can't for the certificate program. But if you have an employer reimbursement or you're paying out of pocket or whatnot, then no worries. Doing certificate first is fine. One other note is that the certificate program per credit is a little bit more expensive than doing either the LM or the master's. So if you wanted to do that and do the certificate first, perfectly good. It would be just a little bit more expensive overall to do it that way than jumping right into either the master's or LM first. But again, that's totally fine. Some people do that, and that is an option for you. Does anyone have any questions yet about anything? If you don't have any questions, if you wouldn't mind putting in a no into the chat box. Unless you're on the phone, then that would be difficult. All right, thanks for letting me know, John. All right, thanks, George. All right, and thanks everyone else. All right, very good. So we move onwards and upwards. So the next question that people sometimes ask is, well, why cybersecurity and data privacy at Albany Law School? So why is this a good time to get into cybersecurity if you're not already? Well, a couple different things there. So what a lot of people in our program do is a lot of LM students. So if you have the JD already, a lot of students are coming to us to add this as a legal expertise for their firm. They want to be able to speak the language of the companies that they're working with. We really have a lot of LM students coming to us for that reason. On the master side, we kind of see the same thing, and also that maybe your company wants to become compliant with these things. They see that there's data privacy fines going out left and right to institutions for not being in compliance. The business is coming under fire with cybersecurity attacks, but you want to build out a framework that's compliant with the legal laws and policies. So these are lots of different reasons why students come to our program. But why is it a great time to study cybersecurity and data privacy right now? Well, you just have to flip open any newspaper at any day, and you'll see the reason. So you'll see that on a daily basis, this area is in the news and something that businesses are thinking about on a regular basis. I see a question from George, and so George, I'm definitely gonna talk about that in a little while, and I'll talk about that through the context of our online student center. And that's a great question. So the question being, do you have firms or companies contacting the school seeking LM graduates in this program? So I'll talk extensively about that a little later. Great question. So those are some of the reasons why it's a great area to study right now. It's really developing. We're definitely on the front end of things right now as far as the industry realizing, oh, dang, we gotta get knowledgeable about this stuff, both as countries and even states are really jumping on board with putting up all new legal frameworks. And so having a legal understanding of the framework of cybersecurity and data privacy is becoming increasingly important across the country, across the world. And so and our professors tell us that for people who can become experts now and start getting some experience in this, you'll get a leg up for your whole career on any other newcomers to the industry for the rest of your career, basically. And so those are some of the reasons why I'm told that this is a great time to start studying these programs. What can you do with the degree? Well, I kind of talked about that a bit already, and it's largely due with compliance. So sometimes people ask me, why why shouldn't I just get a cybersecurity degree at a university? Why should I go to a law school? What can I do with the degree if I come out from a law school? So it's a great question, and it's a great way to really differentiate the programs, because there's things that you can do and only could do if you go to the university, and then there's things you could do and only could do if you came to a law school like ours to study this area. So if you're looking for a technical program, as far as how do I actually go in and build a cybersecurity framework myself, then this is not the right program for you. You should definitely go to university and take the coding classes and take those types of technical classes there. That's not us. We at the law school focus 100% on the law and policy side. So if you go to the university program, you learn those technical skills. There's jobs in that. You get those technical skills, join a company to build it, but it has a gaping hole. The gaping hole is not learning anything about the actual law and policies of it. So for people who have the technical skills already, and so this is another type of student that comes to us is maybe you are already a computer science engineer and have coding background and maybe you're working at that, but then you just can't get up to that director level position. So we have students come to us who join our program because they want to make that next jump, but they don't know anything about the law and the policy behind these programs. They just know how to do it. And so thus they're stuck. They can't move forward. And so that's another type of student we get is the already technical side person who then wants to add this to their repertoire, basically. So then the curriculum. So the next slide I'll turn over to you will actually show the names of the classes. And but I just want to note that we make a great effort to very regularly refresh our curriculum in this. Like I say, we've been online for a couple of years now, but even so, things are evolving so quickly in the field that we want to make sure we stay right on top of it. What's really nice though is that we're starting to really see the framework of things become established. And so I wouldn't have been able to say this a couple of years ago, but now it's already come far enough where we can really have a good understanding of the framework. And so this is a really great time to study because you can learn about that overall framework of cybersecurity, overall framework of data privacy now, so that even if there are some adjustments in the law, which of course there would be over the next several years, then it'll be so much easier for you to jump on that because you would have been trained how to get the updated knowledge, but also already have that foundation of knowledge that's been established through this program. So that's what the efforts we make for the curriculum. So who are the faculty? Well, they're exclusively people who we go out and get from industry. So the director who you see on the screen, the associate dean and director of the Cybersecurity and Data Privacy Program, Dean Haynes. So he's recently come over from the military as where he did cybersecurity there. And he's put together a team of people who are professionals currently working for firms, both law firms and businesses, doing exactly this. So whatever class it is, they're working in that field today. And so that's what you can expect from our faculty in our program. Here's a sampling of the curriculum in our program. So cybersecurity, law, and policy. These two classes are the ones offered, the next two classes offered. So these would be your first classes in the program if you started in May. Supply chain management, cybercrime, technology, privacy and the law, cyber war, intelligence and national security, cyber space law, which is what about the relevance of social media and the impact on those types of things, and what are the privacy concerns, what kind of cybersecurity law and policies in place for those, global privacy law. And then we have a couple other classes which are optional, like healthcare compliance, because we have some students who come to us from the healthcare industry, and so we have a couple classes that you could take for those. Otherwise, you obviously wouldn't take that if you're not in the healthcare industry. But we have those that are available. So that's a sampling of it. One class I want to highlight here is cybersecurity frameworks. I mentioned that the thesis class is a class that you would take in your last term and write about a paper on a topic of your choosing. The cybersecurity frameworks class is another class that you would take towards the end of the program. And essentially what it is and actually we're building this out right now. It's super innovative, really cool. The instructional designer showed me, kind of giving me highlights of it, and I'm like, wow, this is really amazing. And essentially what it is is it simulates real world environment. So the professor is working at a firm, and so he uses real world cases and scenarios that are common, and we're building out them to be simulations. And so you would be the student after learning all the things in the program, and then you would apply your knowledge, apply your skills to the simulated real world scenario that's given to you, and then basically build a cybersecurity framework for that company based on the scenario you're given. So it's really cool. It's innovative, and a couple different universities are playing around with doing those types of things, and then we're jumping right in and doing it too for you all, because we know that that's a huge benefit for you. So anyway, that's a little taste of the curriculum that you could expect in our program if you started at any point, whether it be May or later. Now, to George's question, and to what some other people are definitely interested in too, is some people ask me, how can I connect to people in this online program? So a lot of people, naturally, you saw our demographic set. So you saw that in January, our incoming class ranged from 42 to 59. So you saw that. Now in the past, like this last August, it was much younger, so we had plenty in their 20s. So we definitely have the full range of students in the program, ranging up to in the 60s down to from 20s to 60s. So we have we have the full range. We have everyone. But I've never taken an online program before. How do I get to know anyone? So one is the connection to each other through the classes itself. I mentioned the discussion forums, and so lots of ways there to connect with each other directly through the class. But we're also building out and starting. If you start in May, it'll be there for you. Probably your second class starting in August. Start in July. Your second class will start July. What we're calling the Online Student Center. And what this is, it's going to be a place for everyone in the program and other programs at our school to come and get to know each other. And so this is a great way to engage with each other, and to engage with your professors, and engage with alumni. So alumni will be invited to join it as well. And what it'll be is we're going to have special online only events that regularly occur. So we'll have speakers, we'll have skill building workshops, etc. We'll have lots of connection opportunities with faculty, staff, alumni, fellow students, employers. And so we're going to bring them all into the Online Student Center for you to attend and to listen and to ask questions and build connections with each other on a regular basis. So basically bringing the residential experience to you online. So that is exactly what we're doing. If there are relevant events that happen on campus, and you're not here in Albany, you can't attend, most of our students aren't in Albany, then we'll simply record it and make it available through the Online Student Center for you to view too. So you won't miss out on any events here on campus, and you'll also have all the regular events that'll happen online. So anyways, that's a thing that I think is pretty cool, and a great way to connect you all with each other, with your professors, with alums, and with potential employers in the area of cybersecurity and data privacy. You also would have access to our career services department to help out with anything you want, from resumes to how do I build an effective profile, how do I find and locate jobs, where are some job listings I can get access to. So the career service department is there for you as well. And so lots of options on the front, lots of ways to connect, and we think it's going to be a really cool time. We're putting a lot of resources into this Online Student Center. So the current investment for the program is, for the Master's of Science Legal Studies and the LLM program, would total out to be a little bit under $30,000 for tuition. There are not many books at all in the program, because the professors build it for the materials to be available. But there'll be maybe a $30, $40 book here or there. But the main cost will be tuition. We don't have many other fees at all. Just maybe a little thing here or there, but generally you can expect the total cost of the degree to be under $30,000 for both those programs. For the certificate, the total cost, it says here spring term $1,000 a credit, but if you start in May, the total cost for the certificate program will end up being a a little bit over $12,000 for the certificate program. So partial scholarships are available, and those are the scholarships that would bring it down to this cost. So the total cost for the master's degree, the total cost of the LM degrees is a little over $42,000. But for this summer, students who start in May or start in July, there is a scholarship available that would bring it down to this cost, down to about a little under $30,000 for any student who is accepted and starts this summer. People also ask about financial aid and what's available there. So a lot of our students have employer reimbursements who cover it, and if you do, then great. We'll work with you to maximize that employer reimbursement. A lot of people, want to figure out how to do it as quickly as possible, but only have the employer cover it, so that we can work with you on the schedule to make that happen. Otherwise, federal financial aid options are available for the degree-seeking students. So note again, not the certificate program, only degree-seeking students, master's or LM. We also have payment plans that are available if you'd like to pay out of pocket but don't want to pay the full cash amount up front. How it works for billing for the program is we have 3 semesters in the year. So we have the summer, which runs roughly May to mid-August. Then we have the fall, which runs late August through December. Then we have the spring, which is January through beginning of May. And if you live here in Albany, you'll know that's all winter. But we call it the spring. We're optimistic here. We call that the spring semester. And so you're billed up front for the semester. So you might take one class or the 3 credit in one class in May, then a 3 credit in one class in July, but you'd be billed for that whole semester up front, and you can set up a payment plan to spread out over the term. But just so you know, it's billed by semester. The question is the partial scholarship available, applicable to certificate program? And the answer is yes. So the full price of the certificate program, I believe, would be about $16,000, but with the scholarship, which applies for the July and May starts, the May and July starts, that brings it down to a little under $13,000. So there is a partial scholarship for the certificate also. Yeah, absolutely. So then people, of course, also ask, well, what do I need to do to apply? So you would go to our website, and you can, right in the top right there, it says apply now. You simply just click that button, and it'll take you to a page where you request the application. And so you'll just put in your name, your email, and then you'll be emailed the application. And if you're an LM program, then you'll apply through LSAC. If you went to law school within the last, 15, 20 years, then you would have used LSAC. If not, then LSAC will be new to you. And so it's essentially just simply a place where you go create an account through them, and then you put in your information there and upload your documents directly through LSAC. If you are the master's or certificate, when you're emailed, you'll click on the link that you're emailed, and it'll take you to our application page where you do the same. You create an account and you enter information and upload your documents through that. In both cases, you have an account set up so that you can start it, then leave and come back at a later time. We have rolling admissions, and so if you let's say you want, hey, I want to start in July. You can go ahead and start your application now. Totally fine. You can apply for the July term now. You don't have to wait. So that's all fine. So what you actually need for the application are the following. So one, whether it's LM certificate or master's, you'll fill out the application form, which includes just your demographic data. You'll submit your resume or CV. You'll submit a statement of interest, which simply is, why are you interested in the program? What draws you to it? Why will you be a good student in the program? How it will advance your career? Just, things like that. Just tell us your story. Why are you here? What are you going to get out of it? Why will you be a good student? You'll get 2 letters of reference. So certificate students don't have to do this, but for the master's and LM, the 2 letters of reference will, they don't have to be academic. So you don't need a professor. In fact, most of our students don't get professors. They'll get their employers or someone they work with or a client or something like that. Anyone who can attest to, you are, we think that you are going to succeed in an academic program, in a rigorous academic program. So that's what we're looking for. if you're somewhat recently graduated and you can get a professor, that's fine too. We don't have a preference between one or the other. Either is fine. You'll also have your official transcripts sent to, if you're an LM, you'll have them sent through to LSAC and they'll process it. If you're master's or certificate, you'll have it mailed, the official transcript mailed to the school or electronically sent, depending on if your school does that. And that's that. Once we get all these things, you have a completed application. We usually get an acceptance decision back to you within a week or two, because our admissions committee meets we constantly have students coming in, so our admissions committee meets very regularly to decide these things. So they will let you know both on the scholarship and the admissions. But again, if you're admitted in July or May, you get the partial scholarship. But if you're applying to a later term, then the admissions committee would also decide if you get the scholarship or not. And so thus either way, there's no specific application you need for that scholarship. It would just be decided automatically by the admissions committee would decide for each applicant. So that's that about applications. Is there, I'll turn the floor over to you now. Is there any questions about anything? All right. Well, I don't see any questions. Okay, there's a question. The question is, if admitted, must you start or could you delay until one or more terms? Great question. So when you go into the system, you're able to select a term date. So you can say May, you can say July. I think the August one's up too. So you can select one of those terms. If you know that you want to apply for a term that's later than an option in the system, simply just email us, graduateadmissions@albanylaw.edu. I'll go ahead and type that in, graduateadmissions@albanylaw.edu. Just simply email us, and then it's fine. You can just apply in the system. We'll just we'll manually change you to whatever term you want in the future, and that's all good, totally fine. You can just apply now. If you apply and you're accepted to a particular term, you didn't tell us anything, and then you don't start that term, you can defer up to one term. So if you upfront tell us, hey, actually I'm not starting until September, then that's fine. September, and then you can defer one after that. But if you apply now and we get you into May, then you say, oh, I'm actually not, I want to delay, then you can delay up to July. So that's how the process works. Okay, there's a question. Any thoughts on when, if US will see GDPR-like legislation? Yeah, great question. There's a lot of people wondering that exact thing, and certainly your professors will be the best ones to ask and talk about that. There just doesn't seem to be the political will to do that at the national level yet. We'll see what happens, of course. There's some states, New York, California, which the program, as I mentioned before, the program covers covers the big states as far as what the laws are. So you would get that New York knowledge, you get that California knowledge inside of the states, inside the classes. But yeah, so there's a lot of action on this on the state front. But at the federal level, we're not expecting anything like that anytime soon. But who knows in the future? Time will tell, won't it? That's going to be really interesting to see. So again, thanks so much for coming, everyone. Really appreciate it. I hope to see you all in the program really soon. We'd love to have you. We think it's a super exciting time to study in this area, and we think it's a great time to come to Albany Law School for this type of program. Definitely reach out at any point to the email graduateadmissions@albanylaw.edu. If you have any questions about anything, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. Would love to talk with you if you want to talk more on the phone. So hope you all have a great night, everyone.